Hey everyone, welcome to Crepe Myrtle Row. My name is Lisa. Today's video is going to be somewhat of a vlog style. My friend Kim from My Feather Nest has invited me to come to her house for a Friendsgiving Tea. And she asked me to bring a treat along, so I'm going to make my granny's famous blueberry cobbler and take that along with me. We're going to do a craft while we're there. We're going to take old jewelry or broken pieces of jewelry or whatever, and we're going to take a picture frame and glue these pieces of jewelry into shapes of Christmas trees, or at least that's what I'm doing mine. I don't know what the other ladies are going to be, what shape they're going to be doing, but I think it's Christmas trees everybody's wanting to do. And we're just going to have a fun girls' day, Thanksgiving or Friendsgiving tea, enjoy food and fun and fellowship with each other. And I'm going to bring y'all along with me. Before I go, though, I'm going to share a little bit of how I got my picture frame ready to do my craft on. I'm going to go ahead and do that here at my home before I go, just to help me save some time there. And then I'm going to share my granny's recipe again. I do have a full-size video on that, full video just on that recipe. And it's my most viewed video that I have. But I thought I would go ahead and share a quicker version. I'll speed up some of it so it's not quite as long. And I'm just, sharing where I got supper put in the crock pot and everything like that. But Kim's about an hour away from me, so it takes me a little bit to get there. So we're just going to head out there. The recipe, I'm not sure. This is my first time trying it on the crock pot recipe. So if it turns out that it's really good, I will come back at the end of the video and let you know something. If you don't see me, then you know it didn't turn out so well and I didn't want to use it again. But I hope y'all have a blessed day and just stay tuned and let's get started with this day. Okay, to get started on the craft project, I'm going to start here at home by getting my frame prepped and ready before I go over to Kim's house, just to make it a little quicker for me there. But I thrifted this vintage frame for $2.99, and it is the type that, and it says $1.50 on that side, so I don't know which price they gave it to me for, who knows, but it does sit up there. I'm gonna have to replace the cardboard because, as you can see, it's not as big because we're going to take out the glass and then we're going to take this velvet, and this is a woman's blouse that I thrifted. I think it was on the 75% or 50% off. I mean, I think it was like $1 or $2 at the most. But I'm going to cut a piece of this. I have cut a piece of cardboard. This is just from a box that is the size of the glass here, because that's what I need for the backing. This piece of cardboard will not work, like I said, because it's too small and we're removing the glass. So gonna do that, cover this. I'm gonna use some spray adhesive, cut this out, spray it onto that, and then slide it back up, because this frame slides in from the bottom. Now, I had thought about using foam board instead of cardboard, but my particular frame, I can't do that because of the way it slides in. Now, if it's a regular picture frame where you just push it down, I think you could do it. Even if it's a little thick, you could tape it in good or nail it in good. So, got those items. And then here is just some pieces of jewelry that I had, brooches and stuff. Some of these are vintage, but like this one is missing one of its little pieces, and this was like not a headband, but it was a hair piece I wore in my son's wedding, and I just cut it apart, gonna use it like a garland on there. And this is just jewelry I've picked up from estate sales and stuff. Now the other thing I went ahead and done was I cut the backs off. Like these were clip-on earrings. I went ahead and cut the backs off. For the way I'm doing this, this is not something that you can reuse the jewelry on. So as you see, I've got various pieces here. And for fill-in pieces, I've got lots of little different jewelry pieces and beads and stuff, because, you know, there's going to be spaces in between there that we're going to want to be able to fill in. And then when I did a test run, this long pearl necklace, it's not a real one, it's just costume jewelry, but it is old. The test run shows that it will frame the whole thing here closely. So I'm going to try doing that. And then I had this little charm like it goes on a necklace. I'm going to try to put it somewhere on there. Other items I'm going to be using, of course, is a glue gun, glue sticks. I use that. I found this little cutting board at a thrift store, and it's perfect for catching any drips with the glue gun. And then I just have some extra pieces here, and I've got some tweezers. So, you know, some of the smaller things might be easier for me to hold those once it starts getting full, you know, to get stuff in there. And then these are like your heavy duty cutters to cut the backs and stuff off of this. And then this was part of a necklace that broke. So I'm gonna probably cut these individual beads off to kind of disperse around in there. But we're gonna do it like a Christmas tree shape. And I will finish up that project. Oh, and then I'm gonna use like a spray bond to put my cloth onto the cardboard. If you didn't have that, I think you could probably just spread out some Elmer's glue or something. I wouldn't use hot glue because that's thick and it would leave like a ridge under your cloth. You know, just some Elmer's glue or just tape it down on the back. But that is this project, and when I get to Kim's, I will show you more like once I get my layout and once I start working there. Okay, I've done this recipe before in a full video on just this recipe, and believe it or not, it is my most viewed video of all time. So the first thing I do is I take the stick of butter and I just butter my pan really good with it to help keep it from sticking on up here on the edges and everything. So then I take that remaining stick and I'm going to melt it in the microwave. While my butter is melting, I'm going to take 1 cup of sugar. I'm still going to need a 1/4 cup, so I'm going to go ahead and pour out that 1/4 cup. 1 cup of flour. This doesn't have to be sifted, but it is self-rising flour. So got that out of the way. Now I like to go ahead and kind of stir this up, incorporate that sugar and flour together, get any of those lumps out. Like the sugar was having a few lumps, the flour's got a few lumps. So I just, you know, just kind of go in here and break that all up and get that well incorporated together. Next thing I do is I go ahead and pour in my cup of milk. Get that going good. Just, you know, stir until everything's mixed well. And then I take my melted butter and I just do a little at a time, constantly stirring. And then just continue to stir it till I get all the lumps out. Now I'm going to take that and pour it into my buttered dish. Now we just take our blueberries. You can use fresh or frozen. I honestly have not been able to tell the difference in the taste whether I use fresh or frozen. I'm gonna say roughly a cup, maybe 2 cups of blueberries. I never measure. I just take my hands and I just start dropping them in there until I see it's covered enough for me. I like a lot of blueberries, so I try to make sure that every little spot in the pie has some blueberries in it. I would say this is probably going to end up being closer to 2 cups of the blueberries, 1.5 to 2 cups. And y'all, I just keep dropping where I see spots that look empty. I just kind of throw some in there, even though some of them are sinking to the bottom. And I prefer the smaller blueberries. Here lately, the grocery stores have these big giant blueberries, and I don't like those as much for my pie. Now I take that remaining 1/4 cup and I just start sifting it like all over. And I know this is gonna look crazy, like you're drowning this pie in, or this cobbler in sugar, but this is what gives it that extra bit of oomph, and it gives a crispy like crust to it. Now this recipe was my grandmother's recipe, but she never put the sugar on top. And then I found a Pioneer Woman cookbook, and she recommended the sugar on top, and that's where I got that from, and I absolutely love it. So that's all there is to it. Cup of sugar, cup of flour, cup of milk, stick of butter, and then an extra 1/4 cup of sugar. Mix all of it together, throw it in there, and then I'm cooking it on 350 for 50 minutes. And just keep an eye on it. Everybody's oven's different. You know, once it's good and brown, we're gonna put that in the oven, and then I'm gonna be taking it to Kim's. And this is what it looks like once you bring it out of the oven. I'm so sorry, I didn't get a picture of it once we sliced it. So I'm trying a new recipe today called Poor Man's Stew, and it's just basically carrots, beef, potatoes, onions, some tomato paste, and some beef broth and a few seasonings. But it's a perfect day for a crock pot meal because I'm going to be gone all day. I will be tired when I come in, and it's a really cold and rainy day today, so it's going to be perfect for supper. So this is pulling up into Kim's driveway, and I just absolutely love her house. It's such a majestic looking house sitting there in all its glory. I love it. Kim has set such a beautiful table ready for this tea party with using vintage dishes, and all the other ladies made different foods, and it was such a delicious meal and so much fun, y'all. So here I'm just doing a dry run of laying out my pieces, trying to get an idea of where I want them to be placed before I actually start gluing them down. Once I kind of have an idea, I start like at the top, gluing pieces just with hot glue, and then continuing around. I did glue the beaded necklace around first, and then I continued on with the rest of it. And you can see I'm just trying to find the best placement. And here Kim is doing the same thing. She's just kind of doing a placement around with hers. And then this is a finished one of mine. And here Cheryl is still working on her layout. She's doing an actual flower bouquet, so you can see like where it's held together and then the stem sticking down. And then here is a finished one of Kim's, and everyone's turned out so good, y'all. We had so much fun doing this project. Y'all, this is how the stew turned out. It is really good. And again, it was called the Slow Cooker Poor Man's Stew recipe. I will see if I can link this in the description box below. There were the pretty simple ingredients. Basically, you just browning your meat and then everything else is just dumped into the crock pot. But I will see if I can link that actual blog or vlog that it came from. But yes, it is very good. I think next time I would add more vegetables that we like. Maybe my husband suggested some beans or even some okra or something. Almost like a vegetable stew. But really enjoyed that. Okay, guys, that's my day. I hope y'all enjoyed hanging out with me and Kim. And it was her mother-in-law, Cheryl, and her dad's wife, Kathy. And we had the best time, y'all. It was so much fun. We had making those. Kathy didn't end up making one of the crafts. She just watched us do ours and stuff. She said she might go gather her up some things and then make her one later. But we had an awesome time, and you know, it was just the best time. The tea was amazing. The little foods, everybody brought something, and it was all just really a lot of fun. So I suggest, you know, get your girlfriends together and do some kind of little food thing together and a craft together, and just enjoy this time of year and all. But I'm still working on my Christmas. As you can see, it's empty up there. I've got this tree up. I've got some other things up, but I'm still working on that. And hopefully after this video, you will start seeing more of some DIYs and stuff like that I'm doing. And then I will have my full tours more toward the beginning of December. But I hope y'all enjoyed this type of video today. And if you don't already subscribe to my channel, I would love for you to do so and join my YouTube family. Hit the notification bell so you'll be notified each time I upload. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, come on over there. I post on there sometimes more often than I get stuff on here. But y'all have a very blessed day. Bye.